speak. Patience is the key to buying a home this year. You're going to have to try several times. Freddie Mac housing forecast for 21 and 22. More refi options coming. And, of course, Tracy has our homes of the week. Plus, I believe our parade of homes. Are we parade of homes this week?
We are.
Yeah, we're back on.
Yep.
Game on. Game on this week. It was a great turnout last week is what I'm hearing the feedback. So,
all right. Tego, Tracy, take it away.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks. Well, here we are. Always happy to do our show.
Yeah.
You know, the topic, Tego, that we wanted to talk about, we can jump right in, right?
Yeah.
You know, stay calm, right?
Yeah.
It's the market's hard for home buyers right now.
It is. You know, one of the things that we've seen a lot of, and if you are a home buyer or know somebody that's, you know, looking to buy a home right now, frustration seems to be the key term, right? And
it's an emotional roller coaster, right? Being a home buyer, you go, you look at houses, you pick your favorite one, you get that offer in right away that seems like a good offer, and you don't get selected, and you have, you know, you go back out and look for more homes and find another one, and you get all your hopes and dreams in that house, and my family is going to be here, and you put in an offer and you might not get it. You know, that could happen several times. It can be very frustrating. But it seems like lately, Tego especially, I've always said this, but I've seen a few instances in the last few weeks where the house the person didn't get the first time, the house that they ended up being able to buy and being selected to buy is really the better house. You know, it was like meant to be.
Many times over the years we've seen that, Tracy, and we can personally attest to that as well. That, you know, we lost out on a house we were purchasing, and turns out the home we ended up buying was even better.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad for what we ended up with versus the offer that didn't get accepted.
Yeah. So I think you know, I think the takeaway for buyers right now is patience. You know, it is going to take some time. Or you might get lucky, right? You might decide, okay, now's the time. I'm going to go talk to a lender. I'm going to get my pre-approval. I'm going to be ready to go to buy. And you start looking, and all of a sudden, oh, well, there's the perfect home, and you get it.
And you end up being able to buy it.
And being able to buy it. However, more today, it's people are having to put in multiple offers. They're going to have to spend a lot of time watching new home listings as they come on the market, to be there ready to go look at it as soon as it's available.
Totally.
And to hit the ground running with the offer. And a great realtor, Tracy, we're gonna talk about the realtor community here. And I know we're kind of we're talking about ourselves here, but having a great realtor is key, right? Because what's that realtor going to do for somebody that's looking for that home?
You know, the realtor's going to go to their experience of what works, you know, the communication and the strategies and tactics to help our buyers get their offers selected.
It's not all about price, is it?
It's not all about price. There's a lot of human element in it. Unless we're working with a seller that's, you know, a company or something, even then the agent has some human element involved. But yeah, patience is the key. Don't lose faith. It'll happen.
Well, there's the story we talked about last week. I'm just going to circle back to it because I think it's part of this conversation is how come there's so few homes on the market? How come we don't have more homes on the market? I saw a chart the other day,
I was going to say, I'm
Tracy.
sure you have a chart for that.
I got a chart for that.
Yeah.
And what it looked at was how many homes were built by decade. And so it went back, you know, from, actually the 30s to 40s, the 40s to 50s, 50s to 60s, and so on, right, all the way through. So in 2000 to 2009, for example, so during that 10-year period, there were 27 million homes built in the United States. The 10 years before that, the 90s, it was 26.7, and then 25 million in the 80s, and 26 million in the 70s. Well, in the teens, let's say, from 2010 until 2019, there were only 5.8 million homes built in the United States, which is
That's
what's the math on that?
1/6.
Less than a third, a quarter. It's less than a quarter, right?
Right.
So we have underbuilt for the last 10 years. That's nationwide, Albuquerque in particular, and along that line, I could talk about the journal article that came out last week that I was quoted in, and that Albuquerque actually for new construction is way behind many other markets in the country on new residential construction.
So let me just recap that, Tego.
Yeah.
From 1970 to 2009, each 10-year decade,
Yep.
there were over 25 million homes built each year in the United States. 2010 to 2019, there were less than 6 million. So you're right, less than a quarter of what we were seeing all those other decades. So that contributed. We've been calling it the lost decade.
Yeah, we have.
And, all of those homes that didn't come on the market, we have all these buyers now. Interest rates are low. It's a favorable time to buy, especially with people who've been in apartments, in multifamily, and with COVID being stuck there with, not stuck with kids, but home with a full house, bustling, trying to do school, perhaps work from home, realizing it's time to get a house that works for my family. We have a lot of people looking for homes.
Well, with the favorable interest rates that do not look like, and we'll get to the Fannie Mae, or is it Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac? Freddie Mac housing forecast, and interest rates don't look like they're going to go down, go up anytime soon.
They have gone back down a little bit, though.
They did just
in the last week.
That's true. They did.
They're more favorable.
Well, so just to wrap that up, if people are looking to buy a home this year, get yourself a good realtor that's really going to work with you and bird dog for you as well, because we do hear about coming soon listings, homes that aren't on any of the national websites or any of the public websites. The other day there were 60 homes in the local Albuquerque MLS that were in coming soon status, which means they're
in the pipeline.
Yeah, they're in the pipeline, but they haven't gone out to what we call syndication in the MLS world. They haven't gone out to all the websites that show those listings.
They're not public yet.
They're not public yet.
It's giving us as realtors the heads up that they're coming, but they're not public.
So a good realtor, patience.
A good realtor is just a broad stroke, though, Tego. I mean, a good realtor, there's a lot of good realtors. What makes one... But we won't go into that. So
we won't go down
a good lending strategy, a great local lender.
Yep.
So
all those things. And there's we could name 100 different things that are going to make a difference or to winning that offer or not. All right, Tracy, what about the forecast? What are the experts saying?
Well, as the market recovers from COVID, the housing market is going to stay healthy, and slowly mortgage rates will move up. I don't expect to see anything very quick on that, right? But that's the forecast from Freddie Mac.
Yeah, so Freddie Mac
I don't have as big a team of researchers behind me. I'm quoting Freddie Mac.
Well, of course. Well, you've got me.
I know, you're my number one researcher.
Yeah, right.
And every morning over coffee, I appreciate hearing about it.
So Freddie Mac does a quarterly forecast where they look, and so Freddie Mac, is one of the big government-sponsored mortgage funds, basically, and they always look and kind of give a forecast of what's going on. What they're saying for, right now we're somewhere around 3.1, 3.2% interest rates. It fluctuates obviously, but they're saying through 2021 it's going to stay pretty close to here in the low
mid to low threes.
Yeah, mid to low threes. They're even saying for 2022 they're saying 3.7, so still not even getting to that 4% even next year.
Interesting.
The number of home sales they're predicting to be above last year. Last year was a record year, 6.5 million nationally. This year they're saying 7.1. In 2022 they're saying 6.7 million homes sold. So again, they are expecting a healthy, growing residential real estate market.
So let's talk about the number that I hear the most that people seem to really want to know about when people are saying, I can't buy a house, prices are too high. Well, Freddie Mac says prices are going to keep going up for the next 2 years.
Yes, and not just Freddie Mac. I've seen that on
everywhere.
All the air quote experts are saying the same thing.
Right. So they're saying home prices in 2021 across the states are expected to average 6.6% up. And we're definitely seeing that in our market and many others that we watch.
We're going to be ahead of that this year. I mean, I'm going to say this right now in April of 2021 that we are going to see probably double. I'm not going to say probably. We're going to see double-digit home price growth for 2021. There's no writing on the wall that says that home prices aren't going to keep going up unless we get that, the so-called black swan event.
And they're saying they're going to keep going up in 2022. Now, this is really early. It's April 2021 where they're forecasting next year's home price appreciation.
Yep.
And they're saying 4.5% appreciation for 2022.
And that's nationally.
That's nationally.
Yeah.
They're not saying things are going to pull back and everyone that bought a house today is going to be wishing they hadn't.
I don't want to go into the detail, but I've seen some great charts on, what markets in the country are down. And there are actually markets where prices are down. Think of places like New Jersey, New York, certain parts of California that just got really overheated on prices. But for the most part, it's East and Midwest markets, not the South and the Southwest where we are. Everybody in the South and the Southwest is booming one way or another.
It's not very many communities. When you say there are some that are down, it's very few. It's basically like a handful.
Yeah, and it's the really high price markets where that's really been the
and here,
strongest.
Our high price market is booming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it was an 80% increase in the number of homes sold over $1 million in the last year.
I think it was higher than that, but
substantial
that was a few shows
increase.
ago now. We haven't looked at it lately.
I haven't looked at it. I actually have it on our website. I just don't have it up here now. Speaking of Freddie Mac, there was a news release that came out this week that I thought was actually really good. There's a couple news releases. One of them, Tracy, was that the Biden administration and some lawmakers have put some bill forward to offer a $15,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
Unlike the $8,000 back in 2008.
Well, 2000, was it 8 or was it 9?
Somewhere right in there.
Yeah. I mean, that was to help stimulate the housing market.
That was to get buyers in the market.
Right. Let's just be honest here. We don't need more buyers in the market right now. What we need are more homes in the market.
Right. They should be giving credits to the home builders to get those houses built to offset the increase.
Amen to that. And I know all the builders out there that listen are saying amen to that too, because
wow.
People are going, well, how come there's, no new construction under $300,000 in Albuquerque? I mean, there is in a few places, but very limited. And, you think about this, a builder is paying $100,000 before they do anything on that piece of land.
Just for the land and the permits and the
plans
all the
and the engineering and, everything,
Pretty hard to build a house on top of that and still be in that very affordable range.
Yeah. So anyway, it's interesting that this is that they're doing that they're offering a $15,000 credit. Right now, it's just a bill.
I was going to say, we'll see what happens. We'll see if it happens, if it materializes.
Lots of bills. And I know listeners to the Kiva probably pay attention to politics a lot. And there's a lot of bills floating around out there in the House. So
if it happens...
Yeah.
15,000. You got to, our listeners need to talk to everybody they know that should be buying a house, right? I mean, we have to get all those 20-somethings into their first house.
Exactly.
I closed one this week, Tego.
Yep.
24 years old, first house. It was so satisfying.
Okay, give me a fist pump for that one.
He was so cute and so So excited. And he was like, yes, ma'am, with all the closing documents when the title officer would say, and this one's about, and he'd go, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. That means you're really old, right?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't calling me that, but I wasn't really in charge at the closing. But just such a great kid getting his first house. I mean, young man.
That's exciting.
It was really fun.
You can call him kid, I don't know. What
well,
age can you start calling people?
I mean, he's 24. I need to call him a young man.
Yes.
With as a homeowner. There you go.
Okay, can I get back to this story now?
Yeah.
No, that was a good story. It's exciting. That really is a satisfying part of what we do.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
The other big story this week, other than the tax credit, was FHFA, which is kind of the entity that's over Fannie and Freddie.
Federal House Finance Agency.
Correct. They are putting together some programs to help, what do they call it? Low-income homeowners that have mortgages refinance. Because what's happened, and we've heard a lot of this over COVID, right? That, it's decay economy, the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. Some people are participating in recovery. A lot of people aren't participating in the recovery after COVID. Well, what they're doing is they want to help people that maybe have not been able to take advantage of the low mortgage rates do a refi.
Because maybe their financial picture, they wouldn't qualify for the home right now.
Correct.
Because of unemployment or...
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're doing a program that'll help boost those people, as long as they're, saving like $50 a month. There's some qualifications. They have to have a decent credit score. I think it was 620 or something like that, Tracy. But anyway, it's good to see that they're doing that, because not only does that help that person, it actually helps stimulate the economy, because now if that person's saving $100, $200, $300, $400 a month on their mortgage payment, well, that's money that now can go back into the overall economy. So I'm glad to see that FHFA and Fannie and Freddie are doing that. So
and that has been released. That's not a pending. That one exists now.
Yeah. And
it says basically you have to save at least $50 a month in your mortgage payment by refinancing to qualify, along with a few other things. You said $50 a month, and I said to clarify.
Thank you.
That's how much you have to at least reduce your monthly payment by to qualify.
That's what happens when I read these stories a couple days ago and then try to recite them back to memory. So you actually read the story, so thank you.
I read a little bit.
Yeah, and they're going to have a credit for appraisal if you qualify, stuff like that as well.
Right.
So yeah, it's a good program. I'm really, really glad to see it. Tracy, homes of the week. Are you ready for that?
Let's talk about some.
Okay.
We have a couple of houses that are in our coming soon in our pipeline that we can't talk about yet, but we have a few in various parts of town.
Well, some of these we can talk about as long as they're in the MLS.
Right. Some of them we can talk about.
Okay.
I'm just saying that we have a lot more.
We have a bunch that we can't talk about yet.
That we can't talk about just because they're not officially in our multiple listing service as coming soon yet. But we have Hearthstone Road Northwest, 87114, 265,000. It's just a hair under 2,000 square feet. It's a 3-bedroom, could possibly be a 4-bedroom. That one's coming soon, assured to be a winner in the 87114 area. It was built by Centex.
Yep.
Centex isn't in our market anymore. But
well, kind of. It's Realty now. But
yeah, we have a house at 6704 Loftus Northeast, 87109, right across from Arroyo del Oso Golf Course.
Oh.
It's original from 1969, I believe. I mean, it has not been updated. It's, not in pristine condition. The yard needs work. 275. It's a 4-bedroom. We're already getting a lot of interest from realtors on it.
Wow,
seller,
that's a hot area, Trace. I mean, 2,500 square feet, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a very large yard too. It's almost 4/10 of an acre, so it's 1/3 of an acre or something.
So it's kind of Osuna and
Louisiana.
Okay,
yep.
Got it.
About 2 blocks from the entrance to the golf course.
So this is an opportunity for somebody who wants to do a little what they call sweat equity, right?
Right. And we're getting a lot of interest in it. I know it's priced at $275. I'm expecting we'll probably get some pretty strong offers for it with a 4-bedroom, single-story, large lot. And it needs some updating, or a lot, and it needs a lot of work in the yard. So it's not for people that aren't up for that.
Yeah.
We have another one that's a newer, so to speak, home built in 2008 in Northwest Rio Rancho on Desert Paintbrush, $290,000. This one's 2,600 square feet, but it's 5 bedrooms. 5 bedrooms are really hard to find in our market.
I looked the other day, and I think there were like 50 in the entire MLS that were 5 bedrooms, and many of those were very expensive homes.
Yeah.
So, getting a 5-bedroom home, what was it? How much was it, Tracy?
It's
290.
290.
So sub 300. Yeah, that's a rarity right now for sure. For sure.
Another one in 87120, 420,000. It's in the Volcano Cliff subdivision. Nice single-story home, which is unusual. 2,600 square feet, 4-bedroom, single-story, and that one's on Thunderbird Circle. Sunset Road Southwest, we talked about. It's still coming soon. That's the one that's got 2 properties, 2 homes on it. And then another one on Royal Oak Drive Northeast, 87111. This one is just over 3,000 square feet. It's listed at 535, and it's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home with a 3-car garage. So lots of things. You know what I didn't see is we've got some coming in Las Lunas, Edgewood, East Mountains, Placitas. So if you're looking for something specific, give us a ring. Like Eddie said, 505-448-8888. I guess we have to say 505 now, huh? The things change.
Yes.
The world has changed again.
505-448-8888. Tracy, and if anybody wants information about these properties or any others that we may have in the pipeline that they're not seen online yet because they're just not there online yet, give us a call at that number. If you have your realtor you're working with, we totally respect that. Have the realtor reach out to us as well, or they can look in the MLS under the coming soon area for some of these as well. And I'm kind of behind the curtain information here, but yeah.
Well, we can share it with you if you reach out to us. It just won't go out to like the Zillows and trulyisn'trealtor.coms.
Yeah.
So
roofs. We wanted to talk roofs, or do you got another subject?
Let's talk about roofs. So we had a little rain this week. Some parts of town more than others.
Yep.
We was very intermittent in the valley, very little so far. But what came to mind?
Actually, let me. Can I ask you a question first?
Yeah.
What's the number one thing we see on home inspection reports that needs to be addressed by the seller usually?
Well, I would have to say there's 2 or 3 that are always on there.
Yeah.
And repairs to the roof is almost on every home inspection. So resealing all of the roof penetrations, depending on the roof composition and what the roof is, it varies. Popped nails on shingles, roof penetrations,
even
resealing
loose
around
screws,
parapets,
like
pits.
Like metal roofs, right?
Right.
If it's screwed down, those screws can come loose.
Right.
Too.
Right. So we had a little bit of rain this week, and it made me think of when we get that monsoon season and we get downpours, every roofer is going to be swamped. You're going to be weeks from being able to get somebody out there. So my suggestion is...
Roofer swamped? Was that a pun?
That was intentional. I'm just that witty.
Yeah.
Now is the time. It's not too hot out. Get on the roof. Get a roofer on your roof, whatever. Have it buttoned up and be ready ahead of a big rain, because if you have it come through and it ruins the sheetrock on your ceiling, and you don't want that, much better to be proactive and get it taken care of.
Yeah, it just gets overlooked here in New Mexico. I mean, I'm sure it gets overlooked everywhere, but we just don't get the rain very often. And what happens is, it's been pretty dry, right? It's been a pretty dry winter, to say the least.
Talk about the fires.
Yeah. And so, the sun, the temperature, it just dries things out, cracks open up, shingles get blown off, whatever it is. We have the flat roofs, which is very unique to us. We have the canales on a flat roof that drain the water off. Those notoriously get clogged up with leaves and brush and stuff that again, make the water pool on the roof. So
right.
it's a big deal, and it'll save you a lot of aggravation if you just take care of that maintenance. And this is the time of year to do it.
Right. If
And-
you have a tar and gravel roof or flat roof, the parapets, all the roof penetrations, you can do a lot of that maintenance yourself if you know how and you're up to it. I know Tego knows how to go to YouTube to figure out just about everything.
I can fix anything with a YouTube video.
I know. I've seen it. I've seen you do that. You're amazing.
It really is amazing how much good stuff there is out there. Last thing we want to leave everybody with this week is, if you are going to be selling your home this year, Tracy, what are some tips that people can do? Because we know homes are going to sell, for the most part, relatively quickly in this market. But they may be leaving money on the table, potentially, right?
It's still possible. You know, it's interesting because we want to make sure when a buyer goes in your home, it's appealing to them, that they're attracted, that they feel comfortable, they feel welcome. And with COVID, it's been a little bit hard. We're making people put on, some houses I show, they want me to put on booties, they want me to put on gloves, they have hand sanitizer to use, they have, the whole mask protocol. They don't want me to touch anything, they don't want me to open doors or cabinets. So we walk through and it's uncomfortable. The more comfortable you can make it, the better. And one of the ways is get a stager in. So even if you're living there and, still occupying the home, have a stager come in and take a look with you and say, hey, you might want to move that picture over here and switch the couch this way. I know the couch works good for watching TV this direction, but it's going to feel a lot better and make your home live larger or be more appealing to buyers if you change these things around.
So stagers are professionals. They're designers. They're designers, but they're really specialists in merchandising a home to maximize the desirability for home buyers. So
totally.
Yeah,
and
staging is critical.
And it maximizes the home sale for sure. And
absolutely.
A couple weeks ago, it's probably been 3 or 4 weeks now, we had a house and we looked at it and went, I don't know, it's just not what people are going to want. The stager went in and we went back and went, oh my gosh, this house looks great. And the buyers were raving. Yeah. But, it maximizes your money too, spending a little bit to stage if it's occupied versus vacant. Obviously, vacant homes.
Staging, just to be clear, staging doesn't mean bringing furniture in. Many times it's just redesigning what you have, like you said. And I want to make that clear. Or
a stager will give advice and say, hey, pack all this stuff up, put this collection away. Things that sometimes it's hard to say, but that's their job. And you know what? We have some great stagers in our market, really good staging. So there's plenty of them here, great things. And if you do need to supplement with some furniture, they can rent it to you. Or if you need a whole house staged, that's possible too.
The other thing it's just work. It's no cost, is clean. Clean. People want to see nice, clean. They don't want to know about anything. They want the house to be theirs. And so cleaning bathrooms and kitchens in particular make a huge difference. And
really
it's
does.
The little details. It's the light switches. It's
the baseboards.
The baseboards. Right.
It's the round doors where you come and go and you tend to push them with your hand or something. Other things we talked about briefly, the COVID issues, but giving buyers access and letting them feel comfortable is pretty important. Don't be home. Don't be out in the backyard on the patio or out in the car sitting in the street so they feel like they're being watched or anything. And even in this market, Tego, pricing it right is still very important.
Yeah, you can't just shoot any number out there and expect that people are even going to come and look at it. So
they really won't. We've seen it.
Yes.
In the last few weeks, people who push the market expecting it's going to sell for more than the market is dictating. They're not getting the showings. We've had a few.
Well, there's, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but there's hundreds of homes on the market in the Albuquerque area that have been on the market for months. And, that really just comes down to the price, the condition of the home, the location. But, price can solve anything.
Yep. And even in this market. So
Yeah, absolutely. So We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you watching. Every week we post this on our YouTube channel as well, so you can always go back if you just want to listen to us again. It's there. And we have it on our website as well, Tracy.
And our website, welcomehomeabq.com. Thanks for having us again, Eddie. We're always happy to be here.
Thanks, Eddie.